Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world. Talk about a team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. So we're into the fourth round now. And I think by a lot of people's estimations, Dante Thornton should have been taken by now. But a lot of funky things happened. Some people got moved up over others. And, it's the draft. So you never know what's going to happen. One of the reasons why Dante Thornton slipped so far, even though he has great measurables and great traits, was because of his production. Now, you take a look at a couple things, especially in college, there's a lot of reasons why, and I outlined these in my previous video about Dante Thornton, so go check it out if you want to take a listen. But I will tell you one thing. There was some building frustration in Dante Thornton because he wasn't getting the ball a lot. He transferred from Oregon to Tennessee because he wanted to get the ball more. They had him more as a big blocking wide receiver at Oregon. And then when he gets to Tennessee, it's kind of a lot of the same. Plus, they use him more of like a decoy than anything else. This is one of the things that bugs me about college football. All right. Now, I understand that jobs are on the line. I get it. I understand that we're in a time right now where patience is very thin. I get it. I understand with all the salaries getting really big, with the coaches, with the NIL money that's being thrown around. These people that are given this money isn't coming from nowhere. All right. This NIL money isn't like just getting found under a rock. Okay. People are donating this money to the program, to the NIL program, to be able to use it to pay these players. Because of that, and there's always been pressure, but now even more so on these programs to turn around and start winning right away. So there isn't a lot of time to develop these guys, to teach them things new, to get them to do things in a different manner, and maybe have a rougher start to their career with you, because one, they may get frustrated and just want to leave, the players, or two, you get a lot of pressure from NIL people, boosters, all this stuff, and maybe even the program yourself as a coach, and you may not stick around that long. So I get it. I understand. One of my examples was with Alabama with Jalen Milroe. They really didn't teach him how to be a quarterback there. They just said, go out there and be athletic. Very similar to what they did with Dante Thornton over in Tennessee. They didn't really teach him a whole route tree. They just said, you know what, use what you have and we'll work with that. Unfortunately, that really hurt his production. What I want to do really quick is take a quick look at the Tennessee wide receivers coach, Kelsey Pope, who was Dante Thornton's wide receiver coach. A question was asked of him about Dante Thornton and how he was doing, and it was a very interesting answer. And then we'll take a look and see what Rhett Lewis and Bucky Brooks have to say about the Dante Thornton pick. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free to do. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel besides doing absolutely nothing, just watching the video. Let's listen to Kelsey Pope, wide receiver coach of Tennessee.
Coach, you talked about Dante Thornton, the work he's put in, the different mindset, and then obviously moving to the outside. What are the specific things that you saw from him in the game that led to his success?
He was just able to play fast. He caught one early, which led to another. He got off to a hot start, which was awesome for him and really for our group to be able to see that, because they feed off one another. But like we talked about last time, his biggest deal is just staying positive, regardless if it's good or bad things happening. He's done that this offseason, and it's led to him gaining a ton of confidence. So as long as we keep him kind of trending that way, I think you'll continue to see him train as well as a player.
Okay, let me decipher that coach speak, right? When you say good and bad things happen to someone from this perspective, okay, and keep him positive, he's not getting the ball. All right. He transferred from Oregon to Tennessee because he wanted to get the ball, and he's not getting the ball. So they're saying, stay positive. We're going to feed you this and that. And, eventually he matured to the level where he's like, look, I just got to do what I got to do in this system. I got to ball out when I get the chance, and I'm going to do my thing in the next level. This is what we have to look forward to with Dante Thornton. If I was 6'5", 205, 210, and I ran a 4.3 40, and I had hands, and I was athletic and all this stuff, right? And I wasn't getting thrown the football, guess what? I would be frustrated too, okay? So I don't fault Dante Thornton for being frustrated, for not being used. He had 26 catches last year. 26. Out of those 26 catches, he had 6 touchdowns. That's almost 1 out of every 4 catches is a touchdown. That's ridiculous. They just didn't highlight him. They didn't throw him the ball. That is not Dante Thornton's fault, because if you watch the tape, he was not put into a lot of positions to succeed. He was running the same routes over and over again, and he was dependent on, number one, the defense not playing it properly, and number two, the quarterback throwing him the ball. So that's not going to be an issue with Chip Kelly. It's not going to be an issue with Geno Smith. Once he gets used to the NFL system and gets used to NFL corners and everything, we're going to use him a lot more. But I don't like this whole narrative of, well, he's got an attitude, or he gets really down because of things that happen. And he's just not getting thrown the ball. We all know receivers, because if you're a corner or you're a receiver and you don't have that ultimate belief in yourself, you're not going to last very long. That's why they're kind of like the divas and all this stuff, because they have to have that just unwavering belief. And I hope Dante Thornton was kind of building those building blocks for him to get that foundation at Tennessee, because right now I know that Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly and Geno Smith are going to definitely build on that. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what Rhett Lewis and Bucky Brooks have to say about the Dante Thornton pick.
All right, Raider Nation. Welcome back. I love this weekend, Bucky Brooks. 3 days, 7 rounds, 257 picks. The Raiders end up making 11 of them, tied for the most in the league with a couple other teams. But it's a chance to feel good about the work that you've done for the last 11 months, right?
Yeah, no, for scouts and team builders, the draft is everything. The draft is their Super Bowl. And so a lot of these guys are anxiously awaiting the silver and black to hit the grass, because then you begin to get a feel for, okay, my guy looks all right. How is he doing?
Yeah.
So
you get invested.
Yeah, it's a very look, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that next step, that next phase that we're about to go to now that the draft is done, is really when scouts get excited to kind of see all of their hard work pay off.
They all came together and found 11 players that they believe that the Raiders are going to use to help bring success to Las Vegas. And again, made a couple other receiver selections as we go through this thing. And let's just pull that into it right now with Dante Thornton from Tennessee, who is, if I wrote in my piece, which you can find on Raiders.com right now, just with a little bit of snap analysis of each of the 11 picks, that if there was a pick that really made the late great Al Davis smile from above, it was this one with the speed down the field. If you think back to the way Tennessee has found success on offense, they do push the ball down the field, right, Buck? And this is a guy that kind of feels like filled the Jalen Hyatt role for Tennessee, for the Volunteers. Remember he had those incredible game against Alabama, ended up being a third-round pick of the Giants. Kind of felt like he's the guy that brings that speed quotient to the room.
He does bring that speed quotient to the room. And if I'm Pete Carroll and I'm looking at someone who is 6'4", 6'5", automatically it brings you back to what DK Metcalf was able to do. Even though he's bigger, you just talk about someone who has so much talent. He's a superior athlete. He has size. He has strength. He has explosiveness. You think about being able to win those one-on-one matchups either by running past him or posting him up and just being big and telling Geno Smith to throw it to his hand. They can do all of those things. And as a complementary piece, as he develops from a wide receiver 4 to a wide receiver 3, or however that progression is, he gives them something that they didn't previously have in the wide receiver room. And you have to like that, because that diversity certainly makes it very, very difficult when you think about matching up with the Raiders and they trot out a basketball team.
No question. And I think that's really exciting to kind of think about the way that this pass game is going to take shape with, Brock Bowers obviously still sitting there as the leading receiver, and certainly wouldn't be surprised if that's the case once again, considering his immense talent. But the puzzle pieces are starting to fit together there.
All right. I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself, okay? But I look into the future and I see Brock Bowers at tight end. We got Ashton Jeanty in the backfield. We got Jacoby Myers at one wide receiver. Dante Thornton at another wide receiver. We got Jack Besh in the slot. Whew, that's a problem. That's a major problem for opposing defenses. Does Dante Thornton have to be a superstar right away? No. Does he have the potential to be a superstar? Abso-freaking-lutely. When you get put in the same breath as Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf as far as height, weight, and speed, there's not much more you can do, or not much higher you can go from there. There is going to be a learning curve, okay? Because not only is Dante Thornton having to learn a lot more routes in the route tree, Okay, there's that. But you have to take a look a step further. He also has to get used to being defended by NFL corners while doing those routes. It's not like he's learning those routes in college against inferior talent. He's learning how to run those routes against the best of the best in the NFL. That may kind of funk up the learning curve a little bit, but that's all right, because ultimately, like we said in the last video with Darian Porter, it's not like teaching him technique is going to take away his athletic ability. And that's one of the big philosophies of Pete Carroll and John Spytek is we're going to get these guys who have good football IQs, who have good traits, who can move. They just don't have the technique down yet, who are great athletes, and we're going to teach them. We're going to coach them up. That's exactly what we need to do, because you're going to get these guys who may not be able to do everything for you right away, but in a season or two, they're not just going to be guys that are in their first or second season. They're going to be guys who are going to be budding superstars, because not only are they learning, getting taught, they're getting better, but they have behind that, they have that superior athletic ability and supreme athletic traits. I think it's going to be a home run pick for us. All we have to do is just keep feeding them the ball every now and then. There's only one football, and everyone has to understand here, hey, we got to win games here by keeping the defense on their heels. Just like Mr. Davis said, we don't take what the defense gives us. We take what we want. And when we have guys like I just outlined on the offense, we're going to be able to take a lot. All right, guys, that's my time for today. Really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free to do. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel besides doing absolutely nothing, just watching the video. Guys, you guys are doing great, man. Let's pound up over to 3,000. We're almost there. We're just about maybe 2,500 right now. So let's keep going, get to that 3,000 mark, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and send this to all your socials too, man. Help me out. I'm doing my part, putting the content out there and sharing it to my socials. You guys do the same. The more people we get on board, the more things we're going to be able to do for this channel, and I can do for you guys. So everybody, please make sure to tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell your baby mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the world is the greatest thing going in Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Until next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.